I just wanted to take this moment to say thank you to everyone who helped me to reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers. I finally got there. It's been my goal for a little while. I definitely think I could have got there quicker had I done things a little bit differently. But it's okay. I'm learning, figuring out what works, what doesn't work. And I know that I'm going to keep making these videos because I enjoy doing so. So I realize that it's not about the end result. It's not a numbers game. It's just having fun along the way. Otherwise, you're going to be miserable filming, editing these videos, and doing everything that it takes to have a YouTube channel. So I'm going to keep on learning, keep on figuring things out, having fun. I hope you all will really benefit from these videos as well. So thanks again so much for the support. Hope you all enjoy this video. Welcome back, everyone. Today we are finally going to start working on the RX7. I am super excited for this. If you haven't seen the last video, make sure to go check that out. I explain why I got this car, as if I really need to explain why I bought it, but the info is there. I give you a little bit more context, so go check that out. But today we have a lot of work to do, but before we do that, I want to give you guys a proper walkthrough of the entire car. So let's see what we got. So here she is, guys. It is a 1994 Infiniti RX7 Type R. Now, for those that don't know, the Type R is supposed to be the lightweight version. It doesn't have cruise control, sunroof, or any of that fancy stuff. This is just supposed to be straight to the business, from what I understand. And again, it is a lighter weight version. This particular car came with Advan wheels. I don't know the specs on these, but they're 17s. The tires are Yokohamas, but they are pretty rough. They have flat spots on them for just being parked at the port for who knows how long. This car was previously painted. As you could tell, it used to be red, so this is not an original yellow. I will be painting the car very soon. Came with the carbon fiber hood. I'm honestly not sure if this is real carbon fiber or not. It looks a little weird, a little different. I don't know how to explain it, but it's definitely faded. The clear on it is completely gone. So eventually I will be replacing that. But overall, this thing is a super clean. The body is very straight. I went through this whole car for the most part, and it seems like it's very original. It doesn't seem like there's any Bondo buildup anywhere. It just seems very straight. Carbon fiber wing, it's missing this side. I have it somewhere in the car. It was just a little loose, so when I was transporting it, I just decided to take it off. It has some aftermarket lights that I do not like, but they work. Definitely going to be replacing those. No visible dents anywhere. There's maybe one or two very small ones. I know it has a little dent somewhere. It might be on the very bottom on this side or on the other side, I'm not sure. But overall, she looks good. The interior is super clean on this thing. It's a big reason why I went for this car. I think this version came with the suede seats. I think these are suede. So these are a little sun damaged, but I'm not really worried about those because I don't plan on keeping these. But besides that, everything looks really good. The dash is super straight. There's no bubbles or anything. Manual transmission, of course. It has 80,000 kilometers, so about 40 to 50,000 miles on it. I put some cheap temporary floor mats just because I didn't want to get the carpet dirty. But man, this carpet is super, super mint. Very clean. I mean, it's a little dirty right now, but it doesn't look like it's really been used at all. It looks brand new. I was very amazed when I saw the condition of the carpet. It'll definitely clean up nice. Back seats are in nearly perfect condition. No cracks, tears anywhere. You can see the headlight cap over there. I explained in the other video that those things flew off while I was driving on the freeway. For those of you that aren't familiar, this is a 25, 30-year-old car, and the plastics get brittle over time, especially up here in the front where the sun's constantly beating on them. You can see right here where the cap completely just broke off. I lost one of them on the freeway. I was able to pick that one up, but either way, I'm not going to reuse them anyway. I bought some new ones, so those are just waiting to be installed. Door panels are in great shape. These handles here and here tend to break a lot, and thankfully these are in perfect shape, as well as the driver's side. Oh, check this out. The headliner as well. It's like perfect. By the way, if anybody knows what this is, definitely let me know. This thing was like double-sided tape to here. It has some wires running to it. I'm not sure what that is, but if you have any clue what that might be, please let me know. It's missing the rear wiper on the back, which is not a big deal because I'm most likely going to completely remove that. But here in the back, everything is nice and clean. Factory rear strut bar. This thing has all the tools in it. Which is pretty crazy to see. Everything is intact, nothing is broken. This is probably the part most of you guys are curious about. Once again, it used to be red, so none of this is painted in the engine bay. I'm definitely going to be addressing that once it comes time to paint the car. This car did come mostly factory. It did have 2 intakes that I removed. I bought this airbox online, used. I kind of wanted everything just to go back to stock factory, just so I can get a better feel for the car, figure out what everything's doing. If you notice in the last video when I was driving it, it was making this noise that I believe was coming from the air pump, and it had something to do with the intakes that I had on here, the aftermarket intakes. So putting this airbox on there eliminated that noise completely, and that's another reason why I wanted to go back to factory, just so I can kind of start here and make the modifications that I want as I'm ready to do so. She's definitely dirty. As I mentioned, she has been sitting out at the port for who knows how long, but definitely a good base to start with. I did talk about this a little bit in the last video, but the car does run. It runs pretty good overall, but it is having an issue that I believe to be fuel related. So when I got the car, it seemed like there was some carbon buildup. It started up, well, actually in the beginning, it was taking a little while to start up, and then it would start, and once it kind of cooled down, it would be kind of hard to start it up again. Once I got it going, it seemed to drive okay. It seemed to drive pretty good, But once you started giving it a little bit of gas, even after it's warmed up, it started bucking and hesitating, and it wouldn't really go past like 3,000 to 4,000 RPM. And it would start backfiring, popping, and it just wouldn't go. So I've driven it a lot and really trying to get the feel for everything, see what it's doing. And it's pretty much been consistent with those same issues. I did run an injector cleaner through it just to see how it would respond to it. It started running better, so that did kind of, confirm for me that it is fuel related. So I've been sourcing all the parts that I need. I want to redo the entire fuel system completely, except for the fuel lines. I'm probably just gonna clean those out as best I can. But everything's gonna get replaced, and I'm pretty confident that that's gonna take care of that issue. And then after that, of course, we'll do the proper tune-up with new plugs, new wires, all that good stuff. But I feel like this is the place to start. I removed the fuel pump just to kind of take a look in there, see what's going on, and it's very, very rusted. It's in pretty bad shape. Everything in the engine that I can see looks to be good, but the fuel tank is really rusted. The pump is pretty bad, so I know that needs to be taken care of. So that's what I'm gonna be starting to tackle. I'm gonna get this car up on jack stands. We're gonna start removing the tank. We're gonna drop the tank. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet, whether I'm going to restore it or get a new one. But either way, it's coming out. We're gonna drain it, get everything out of there, and start doing these repairs. So I got the car up in the air. Before anybody says anything, I did use the pinch welds as the spot for the jack stands. I know a lot of people don't agree with that, don't like that, but I've tried a bunch of different areas in the past, and this is the way that I feel best. If I'm gonna be crawling underneath this car, doing some work, this is the way that I feel the most comfortable, the safest. I have these little caps that go on top of the jack stands with the slit in there for the pinch welds, so it won't do any damage to the pinch welds. I can get out right now and shake this car, and it feels super solid. I feel the most secure in this spot. Once again, we're talking about your life here, so yeah, this works for me. That's what I'm gonna do. So if you guys don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. I already started working on the gas tank, got that dropped. I was trying to film, but my camera died. I was already in the zone, so I just kept going. But I did get a little bit of footage with my iPhone just to kind of show you the condition of everything. So here's some of those clips right now. So this is the fuel that came out. It's not the worst I've seen, but it's still pretty bad. You can see on this one, there's a little bit of flakes on the bottom. Again, it's not too bad, but your fuel should not look like that. Also, I have been running some clean gas through it, so it's probably a lot worse than this, but we'll find out what we're really dealing with once we get that tank drop. So I got the tank out, and as you can see from the filler neck, there's already some rust that's falling out there. It's not a good sign, but I already knew that there was rust. That's why we're doing this. But I just got this unscrewed. So let me show you how bad this is. I already explained how nasty this fuel pump was when I pulled it already. Check it out. Oh yeah. Look at this thing. It's already all torn up, the strainer. It's all rusted. The sender, the little floaty thing doesn't even work anymore. So it hasn't been marking fuel. Let's see if we can get a peek in there. Yeah. It's pretty bad. It's actually a little bit worse than I thought. Well, we're gonna get all that taken care of. This is what came out of the fuel filter. There's a lot of dirt in there. I was trying to blow through it and air is going through, but barely. Like I have to really blow pretty hard in there for anything to pass through. Yeah, it's pretty filthy. This wouldn't even come out. I had to really force it out and keep kicking it around, but it's throwing around a bunch of dirt, rust. So that's pretty nasty. So as I mentioned, my camera died and I had no way of charging it here at the garage. I'm 25 minutes away from home, so I really didn't want to stop what I was doing. I was in the zone, ready to keep going. So I kept working on the car with the disassembly and a lot happened. The garage is a little bit crazy right now, but I got the fuel tank out and that is sitting right here. My plan was to restore this tank. I'm not sure if I'm still gonna go that route or not. Right now my focus is the disassembly. I got the tank out and I got the fuel filter out, which you already saw. The pump, of course. And the reason why all of this is taken apart is I was trying to get to the charcoal canister. The charcoal canister sits behind the gas tank up here in this area, way up in there, tucked in. So the reason why I wanted to get that out is it is part of the fuel system. It's sitting right here. And you might be asking, why is this thing hacked open? And the reason is, I wanted to replace this just like everything else that I'm replacing. But from what I understand, they do not make this part anymore. I could not even find it aftermarket. I called everywhere in town and nobody can get this thing. It's on back order and they can't give me a date of when it can come in. So I figured, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and rebuild it. So I cut it open to see what I'm working with. And you could see all the charcoal in there that I just spilled out. If you don't know what this is, basically the fuel tank needs to vent and it vents through here. So no fluid is actually flowing through here, just the fuel vapor. So what charcoal does is it just helps with the odor, just to keep the smell down so you're not smelling fuel when the fuel tank is venting. So these are supposed to last a while, but I don't know the condition of this one with this car. I don't know what's happened before. And either way, I just wanted to replace it. So I'm just gonna end up rebuilding this, but we'll get to that later. In order to get that out, I had to remove the rear CV axle. There's no way to get the canister out without removing this because it was in the way. So I figured, all right, let me just take this out real quick. And it was a nightmare. The axle was seized on to the hub pretty bad. I had to hammer this thing out, put some heat. What ended up working was an air hammer to get this part to finally push through. It was a nightmare, but now I know what works. So whenever we do the other side, I'll make sure to film that. I really wasn't even trying to work on any of this right now, but I wanted to get that canister out. So it's out. And right now, what we need to focus on is getting these injectors out of here. This is a part that I've been kind of excited about, also a little bit nervous. There's a lot going on in here. I have an idea of what I need to do, but I also really don't know because I've never worked on this car. So I just know a lot of things need to come out. And my biggest concern is encountering the rat's nest. If you don't know what that is, underneath the intake manifold, there's a ton of vacuum hoses that are probably aged, cracked, rotted, and you have to be very careful, or otherwise you're gonna have to be replacing a lot of hoses, and it's real easy to get those things mixed up if you don't have a diagram. So I'm gonna try my best to not have to deal with that too much, try to work around it. That's the goal, but I really won't know until I get in there. So we just need to get our hands dirty and start taking everything out. Just wanted to give you guys a little update. I've been working on this for a little while and it's a mess. But let me turn this camera around and show you the madness that I'm working with. So this is where we're at. A lot has come out. I probably didn't need to do a lot of this, but just to make things easier and more accessible, I removed the alternator, which sits right here, the air pump, of course all these hoses and everything. I remove the coil packs that were right here, and basically what I'm needing to do is get to the fuel rail, secondary and primary, and they're sitting below the rat's nest, and that's all this craziness happening there. This is pretty much everything that's come out so far. The trouble is all this stuff here, because of all the heat and everything going on in this area, everything is very brittle, so I'm trying to be very careful. Right now, I don't want to have to go chase all these lines, replace everything. Eventually, I want to go single turbo. Right now, it's a twin turbo. So a lot of this is going to get deleted eventually, but right now, I don't want to have to mess with that or touch it. So I'm being very careful. A lot of these sensors and stuff in this area, the plastics are again very brittle. These filters, you got to be real careful with these. So taking my time, but this whole assembly right here with these hard lines, this needs to either come out or I need to move it out of the way. I think this is the secondary fuel rail right here. I'm able to move it. You can see it moving around right there. But I can't get it free yet. It's completely free. I just can't pull it out because I need to move the rat's nest out of the way. And then I need to get to, I believe it's the other fuel line. So I don't know, we're still working on it. It's looking a little crazy. It's gonna come back together somehow. The injectors are in pretty rough shape. I kind of knew that would be the case already, but they're out now, so I'm gonna be sending them to RC Fuel Injection out in Torrance, California. I heard a lot of good things about this company. They're gonna be completely rebuilding these, new gaskets, new everything. They're gonna flow test them, see how well they did or how bad they did. And when I get them back, they should be pretty much ready to pop in. The disassembly of the fuel system is complete, so I'm gonna be ending the video right here, but there's still a lot of prep work that needs to be done before we put all these new parts back in the car. So that'll be coming up in the next video. I'm gonna do my very, very best to get this out there as soon as I possibly can, to get the content to you guys, and of course, to get this car back on the road, which is my main goal right now. But I just wanted to say thank you once again to everybody who's been showing support to the channel, liking, commenting, subscribing. You all helped me reach my goal. I finally got there. It took me a while, but I'm not done yet. There's much bigger goals that I'm setting for this channel. So once again, just wanted to say thank you. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you all on the next video.